This is NDTV. And you're watching Ndtv-Hindu.
A group of gypsies are shooed away from the balcony to the lowest rated seats at a theatre in the city. Advocates pledge denial of human rights. The Spectrum scams child. Minister A. Raja promises the finance minister no more telemarketing calls, asks the TRAI to take control.
I cannot act independently without the opinion of the TRAI.
Meanwhile, the telecom minister also says he's done enough work with his local area development funds, although his records show otherwise.
I discharged my duty. I allocated the funds. My area covers 4 unit districts. That is the problem.
After Amma cries foul in the appointment of teachers, Karunanidhi hits back, says it's as transparent as it gets. India's sporting icons shun the corruption and lack of preparedness that riddles the Commonwealth Games 2010. And riding on VVS Lakshman's 16th test done, India beat Sri Lanka by 5 wickets to level the series 1-1. Good evening, this is Headlines now on Ndtv-Hindu. I'm Evelyn Matthew. As we soon complete 63 years of independence, and you thought our country is a nation of unity and diversity, well, it may be shocking to know that even now in a city like Chennai, discrimination exists to the core. Sample this. A group of gypsies were denied seats at a theatre in the city, and we'll look into that story in detail, but look at the national headlines as well. The cloudburst in Leh claims 115 lives and 400 missing cases. Massive rescue operations underway. India, the nation, is doing well, feeding its rats. A sarcastic CPM chief attacks the UPA while opening a brainstorming session. Grilling the former minister Amit Shah for the second time, the CDI holds custody. Shah's lawyer says he will cooperate. Big Brothers, USA and the United Nations title Pakistan-based Houthi, a foreign terror group, and freezes the chief's assets. Well, a shocking incident today at a multiplex just went on to show how exactly progressive in fact our society is. A multiplex in Chennai refused to let a group of people into its halls, although they were willing to buy tickets. The reason? They belonged to the Narikuruva or the gypsy community, and the multiplex management decided that this was reason enough to treat them as untouchables.
Every textbook brought out by the Tamil Nadu State Education Board has these words on the front page: untouchability is inhuman. But the management of this multiplex in Chennai does not seem to have learnt that lesson. They stopped this bunch of gypsies hailing from Tirupattur in Vellore district from watching a movie with their children. And the reason they gave for this is quite appalling. And if that was not shocking enough, listen to this. The police had to intervene to get them into the multiplex at all. And even then, they weren't able to get a proper seat.
Police sir வந்து ஒரு 10 ரூபாய் டிக்கெட் அப்புறம் வாங்கி கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Police sir வந்து ஒரு 10 ரூபாய் டிக்கெட் அப்புறம் வாங்கி கொடுத்திருக்காங்க.
The management is unwilling to take up the blame, calling this a small issue being blown up by the media.
சின்ன மேட்டர் போய் பெருசு பண்றீங்க சார். சாரி சார். இதெல்லாம் சாதாரண மேட்டர்.
Might not be a big deal for this man, but for these people who are told repeatedly that they are indecent and unfit to mix with normal people, it's definitely much more than a non-issue.
So this is nothing but untouchability, and if this theatre practices untouchability, it should be very strongly condemned by the government. They don't get any rights, nowadays, and they are not recognized as scheduled tribes by our country, and they are already suffering. This untouchability will greatly affect them.
These 8 people come to Chennai for a week every month to sell their goods. And a small break from their work on a Saturday morning has turned into an hour of humiliation. In Chennai with Sagai Raj, Nithila, Ndtv-Hindu.
Well, the Tamil Nadu Theatre Owners Association has reacted strongly to that drama today. The The Theatre Owners Association president, in fact, has condemned the act, saying that no Indian citizen can be denied entry into movie theatres.
சென்னையில் இன்று தேவி திரையரங்கில் நரிக்குறவர் சமுதாயத்தைச் சேர்ந்த சிலர் 85 ரூபாய் டிக்கெட் கேட்டபொழுது தியேட்டர் நிர்வாகத்தால் அவர்களுக்கு டிக்கெட் கொடுக்க முடியாது என்று மறுத்ததாக ஒரு சம்பவம் கேள்விப்பட்டோம். அந்த சம்பவம் உண்மையாக இருந்தால் இந்திய குடிமகனாக இருக்கின்ற யாருக்கும் டிக்கெட் கொடுக்க மாட்டோம் என்று சொல்கின்ற உரிமை எங்கள் சங்க உறுப்பினராக இருந்தாலும் எந்த திரையரங்க உரிமையாளருக்கும் கிடையாது. ஆகவே இந்த விஷயத்தில் நாங்கள் எங்களுடைய கடுமையான கண்டனத்தை இதன் மூலம் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறோம்.
And joining us on Headlines Now tonight is Advocate Radhakrishnan, who was at that particular theatre today when this happened. Good evening, sir. Do you believe that there was anything that the people may have said or done which could have possibly prompted the management to deny entry to them in the first place?
They were ready to enter the theatre with 85 rupees ticket. They were ready to pay. They were, reasonably dressed. Not that, you don't say. Even if they are not reasonably dressed, you should allow entry because it is a public place. You cannot practice untouchability on the ground that they are Narikuravas. That is one thing. Our constitution says nobody can practice untouchability on the ground that, they belong to scheduled tribes or scheduled castes. If you practice untouchability, you will be imprisoned. These people, it's my feeling, in some states, they are declared to be scheduled tribes. In Tamil Nadu, they are fighting for their status as tribes. They are tribes, they are very nice people, they have lost all their rights. Now they don't have their fundamental right to watch a movie. It is very regrettable, and I doubt very much where, we are living in a democratic country.
Right. But sir, it seems quite a harsh step by the management. Are they likely to face any legal action over such an incident? Taken against the management if need be.
Yes. Now, if there is a complaint by these Narikurava people to the police or to the authorities concerned, certainly on the ground, that, their fundamental rights have been violated, either they can be arrested even for practicing untouchability, or if they give complaint, it is atrocity, again they can be arrested, and they will not be released even on bail. Suppose atrocity complaint, is lodged against the persons who practice violation of their fundamental rights of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, they are not entitled to be granted bail even. So such a serious offence, they have committed. Why they have committed, we should think. The government has not issued any instructions to the theatre owners. You practice like this. You cannot do like this. You should allow entry, whoever it may be. Just because it becomes multiplex, people, ordinary people, should not be said, should not be stopped at the entry.
But Mr. Radhakrishnan, a board that says right to admission reserved outside cinema halls is a common sight. Don't you think the management can actually try to justify its actions using this?
No, because you can reserve right of admission on the ground of public health, right? So on the ground of public health, suppose you prevent a person, then you have to give a notice. You cannot say because it is not, it is a public place. The license is granted, it is a theatre, anybody can enter. Just because it is a theatre or multiplex compound, you cannot prevent any citizen from entering the theatre. Otherwise, you have to issue a notice, then the notice should be legal. Even after that legal notice, it should be approved by the Supreme Court. Okay, on this basis, a person can be prevented from entering. So far, Government of Tamil Nadu has not issued any instructions. Okay, you can prevent entry. In the absence of any such instruction from Government of Tamil Nadu, whatever they do, it is totally unconstitutional. I think appropriate action should be taken by the police immediately against the people who practice untouchability.
Right, obviously something that was to be an entertaining experience has turned out to be quite a bitter one, even for you being displeased yourself seeing that. Thanks very much indeed, Mr. Radhakrishnan, for joining us on Headlines Now. Now, in the latest tit-for-tat in the politics in the state, Chief Minister Karunanidhi has hit back at Jayalalitha yet again. The AIADMK's General Secretary alleged that there was large-scale corruption in the appointment of teachers in state government-run Teachers Recruitment Board. The Chief Minister has now hit back, saying that there was no malpractice at all in the recruitment of teachers. He said their selection was conducted in a transparent manner. Now, joining hands to wipe off food shortage from the face of India were the chief ministers of Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh at an international conference at the Chennai Trade Center today. Karunanidhi said that in his long political saga, it was his goal to change the state of Tamil Nadu to a hunger-free state. Meanwhile, his counterpart from Andhra Pradesh, K. Rosaya, hoped to facilitate the usage of biotechnology in agriculture to remove food shortage altogether.
In my long political career, my ambition is to make Tamil Nadu a land of compassion, where no child, woman or man will go to bed hungry. We have already got great progress, but still we have to do much to ensure that no child's physical or mental potential is impaired by malnutrition.
About the future of dryland cultivation, the universities and research institutions like yours have to take the initiative and responsibility for development of varieties suitable for dry and agriculture.
Now, villagers of Thervoy are fighting tooth and nail against the Sipcot SEZ coming up at their village. They might lose their livelihood. The plants and trees they depend on are being destroyed. Ndtv-Hindu has been getting you reports from ground zero about the state of these people, with documents and photographs that question Sipcot's claims about this proposed SEZ. Environmentalists question if Sipcot's own assessment of the threat to people's livelihood is a contradiction in itself, whereas Sipcot claims that the entire land is barren with no human habitations. Ndtv-Hindu shows Sipcot officials clearing vegetation as well, chopping trees, even pouring acid over them to prevent further growth. So the big question we are asking is Thervoy fast becoming Tamil Nadu's own Nandigram? And to discuss about what is called a development project, tonight we have joining us Professor Amit Baduri, Professor of Economics from the Jawaharlal Nehru University. Welcome to the show, sir. Now, even though rules exist, the Tamil Nadu government has broken them all in Thervoy, entering into an MOU with a tyre company and then seeking clearance from Environment Ministry. Isn't it like putting the cart before the horse?
Tamil Nadu government has done exactly the same thing as many other state governments are doing. I'm not condoning it, but all state governments on law questions are now against the law rather than enforcing the law.
But also a clear trend that is emerging is the sheer administrative indifference to the needs and the future of the people while setting up a massive SEZ in Thervoy, for instance. The signatures of the entire village was fidged in this case. Even a public hearing wasn't held.
This is because now we are in a situation where Tamil Nadu seems to be making the same foolish trajectory which they followed in places like Chhattisgarh and Odisha. That is, they believe that manufacturing consent in some form, they can solve the problem. They cannot, because it will only make people's resistance bigger. And it will make the whole problem gradually go out of hand the more they practice this.
Right. I see you're quoting Noam Chomsky there, but we've seen Nandigram, Singur burning, people up in arms all across the country when projects have harmed them. Tamil Nadu has the third highest number of SEZ clearances, and as Thervoy shows, not all is well. Why are the people of the state so passive to the injustice around them?
This is a puzzle which we who do not live in Tamil Nadu has very often felt. I have been given two answers. One is that they have not really gone to the most populated lands, unlike in Nandigram, unlike in Singur, unlike in Raigad in Maharashtra. In And the second answer which I have been given is that there is no resistance. It has been taken over before people were able to understand that they will not get the kind of compensation which they expected. They were cheated. I do not know which one is true, but it is true that Tamil Nadu has so many says and so many special economic zones, but actually compared to that, the resistance has been much less. I mean, it is something which we have to understand. It is in the compensation, I do not know. It does not look like from what I have seen in paper. They did not give any special compensation in Tamil Nadu.
Right, Professor Baduri, but the literacy rate of Tervoy is 90%. The sex ratio is favorable to women and social parameters are quite high in Tervoy. That is why the villagers of Tervoy are using legal means. But do you think it's exactly this attitude of the government driving peaceful people up the wall that is breeding Naxalism in the country, making educated youth pick up arms against the state?
I think we are reaching a point where taking legal means actually is a way of delaying people's movements, because ultimately there are very few places where legal methods have succeeded. It has not succeeded in Narmada Bachao Andolan. It has not succeeded in anywhere in Odisha so far. And this is why maybe this is a trick that in Tamil Nadu they take legal means, then it goes to various commissions, it gets lost in legal methods, and then gradually people will lose faith in law. And they have not lost faith in law in the way, let's say, the tribals have lost faith in law. And maybe that is a piece which is brought on the grounds of people's illusion at the moment.
Right, we just hope that this is not a case that is lost like the ones you've been quoting. But thanks very much, Professor Baduri, for talking to us this evening. Well, still ahead on the bulletin. For those that Nama Madras is second home to, they'll tell you why they love their city so much. Also coming up, while the Commonwealth Games is marred with controversies, sporting icons slam the way the country is bracing itself for the Games.